Buried deep inside of an old Disney movie is a quick scene where a dog is sniffing around a city street. It's only 4 seconds long, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's kind of one of those moments that people would never give a second thought. But believe it or not, this small scene recently opened my eyes to a part of animation as an art form that I never truly really appreciated. Because most people don't notice that hidden inside these few seconds is a tiny creative choice, a single frame that quietly shows one of the most important animation skills that nobody ever talks about. Not drawing, not acting, not timing, something else. Hiding in plain sight is a single drawing that somehow forced me to see an entire era of Disney animation in a whole new way. And the funny thing is, when I sat down to talk with this Disney animator, this movie and scene were the last thing on my mind, because he had one of the coolest careers ever. You see, he's a Disney legend who had a mission to make every single scene he worked on as funny as possible. During the era when Disney was making non-stop banger after banger, he was locked in as the comedy master who could really animate the funny characters. And he always went all out, even if it meant going off script. And if you look closely, his hilarious stamp is on so many great movies. Sometimes it's in the small details, like in Beauty and the Beast.
The Gaston song when they're in the pub. I just had this idea, like, what if the song's about to start and he's about to sing it, but he does a little pirouette, which is completely stupid. It doesn't make any sense, but it would be funny.
Or The Little Mermaid.
God, maybe it'd be funny if when Scuttle combs his hair with that fork, he like spins it around like spaghetti and then pulls it and it gives this big giant seagull afro or whatever.
The dude just can't help but make things better.
And I had a scene where Aladdin and the genie are talking about Jasmine. They're like in this clearing, and Abu is the elf stuck off to the side. I know he's not the main part of the scene, but what if he still thinks he's a monkey and he's trying to peel bananas? So John really liked that idea. He says, we'll make that an actual scene.
And sometimes his ideas were so out there that even the directors weren't sure if they should even stay in the movie. Like when he wanted to add a character wearing a bra, people were worried he would cross a line.
And I said, what if he trips on the bra and tumbles, and he's wearing it? At first, the directors were not at all in favor of it. They're like, no, it's in really bad taste. If we get complaints about the bra scene, we're going to cut it out. I said, okay, that's fair. You got the biggest laugh in the movie.
As you can see, he wasn't afraid to try anything. Which brings us back to this scene, which was actually one of his very first shots he ever animated at Disney. And even then, he was breaking the rules in a very subtle way.
The other thing I did one time was Toby is sniffing around on the ground. You know, he's trying to pick up a scent. He's about a little guy like this. And there's a cobblestone thing and he's sniffing. And then for absolutely no reason, I have him stop and look at the camera and then go back to sniffing. Just because I thought it would be something funny to do. Doesn't make any logical sense. And John Musker, so I showed it and he's like, oh yeah, it's funny. He goes, oh, you broke the fourth wall. I said, I did what? He goes, you broke the fourth wall. I said, what's a fourth wall? He said, that's when the character looks at the audience. I said, oh, and he says, you never do that in feature animation. I'm like, oh. So I figured, okay, they're gonna cut the scene. He goes, but it's a funny scene, so we'll leave it in.
Now that quick frame of the dog looking directly at the camera is something that wouldn't happen in an old school Disney movie. But here's why it's important. Like all of Rick's best moments, he had the guts to try new things. But it wasn't just him. Everyone at the studio was pushing animation forward. This entire team of young animators and directors and producers started out wanting to stay true to the 9 old men and their style. But gradually, things changed as they found their own unique voice. They told stories in a new way, they animated in a new way, and they made Disney animation their own. And eventually, they actually got the approval of the heroes that inspired them.
Never forget this one time, Ward Kimball came in. We were watching Little Mermaid. This film ends and he starts to talk about it a little bit. You guys are doing a good job with this and that. And then he goes, I don't know. He goes, I don't know why you care what us old farts think. He said, you don't need our approval. And he said, you obviously know what you're doing, so just keep doing it. And I thought that was a huge thing.
So next time you see this Disney dog looking directly at you in the camera, appreciate the joke, but also know there's more behind it. Let it be a small reminder that animation doesn't move forward by following the rules. It moves forward when someone's brave enough to actually break them.